In this tutorial, I want to show you how to do some advanced editing, something called a J-cut. I've got a project here, and let me go into the edit mode in iMovie and just walk you through some of the shots and what we're trying to do. We're basically going to be working with the audio tracks. I've already built a video story here, built around sound bites from this sports presenter at a TV station in Brussels. And I've put my bites down and I've reordered them so that they make sense to a viewer. And I've eliminated the parts that we didn't need. So basically Astor is his name. Astor's going to be describing what it's like to start his job as a sports reporter at this TV station. Okay, so that's what the story's about. Now he speaks in Dutch, and I'll show you the video at the end. But I just wanted to show you the structure here is soundbite covered up with a cutaway track of some shots that show where and what's happening. Answer story questions visually. And then there's this rehearsal that we have of him where we have the audio at a little slightly lower volume between the sound bites. And you see I can lower the volume of that. So that it moves from soundbite to then you get to observe what he's talking about in practice. And then here's the J-cut. This J-cut right here is where you start to hear the audio from the next scene. The next scene is him again talking in a soundbite before you see the pictures. So it forms the letter J. If you put like a J starting up at the top of the cutaway and then moving down and to the left, you can see that is the shape, and that's where the name comes from. But it's basically hearing the sound from the next scene before the viewer sees it. Now that blue bar, that's the audio track that's been detached. And the way you work with getting audio detached so that you can do these things, let me just move over to another part of the project here. Let's detach the audio from this section. To detach, you'd think you'd need to be in the audio icon, which I am right now, but actually you have to be in the scissor icon. That's the golden move. And then you click on, or tap rather, on detach. And now you see the audio track for that clip has been separated and put into a blue line, and now you can work on it separately. It's also muted the audio from the video track. The audio is still there on your main track, so if you mess up, you can always delete this and start over again. So with this track selected, now I need to go over to the audio, and then you can see I can adjust the audio volume for that clip. I can even add a fade out, which I think is what I'd like to do. I'd like to do a fade out there. So we're doing a crossfade. We're fading out the audio of that clip, and then we're fading up from the clip before. Now, if I had if I tap the video clip for that segment, and if I touch the left handle, the in, you see once you start moving the video to the right there, that handle to the right, it'll shorten the video clip, and you can see that the audio clip stays where it is. That's the key to making a J-cut. You detach the audio, and then you slide the beginning of the video clip over, and that way you'll start to hear the audio from that clip before you see it, and everything will stay in sync. Where people often make a mistake is they try and move the audio track around. Don't. This is how you make a J-cut. If you wanted to make an L-cut, which is in the other direction, you just move from the other side, and then you start to hear the audio from the track following. If you get messed up, you can always go and undo your steps. And then you can audition this. So this should be a fade in and a fade out, and I'll just tap on that yellow triangle to do a fade in. So I've got a crossfade here from the soundbite to the natural sound clip where we see him performing, and then he talks about what it was like to do that, and then we've covered that up with some other sequence shots of him doing his job to show readers the elements of television production. And then there's kind of what's a surveillance shot. That's him on a TV monitor inside the studio, and that we're filming in foreground, and then him actually on the set in the background. So it's just a cool framing there, done by the student photographer who I was working with at VRT in Brussels. And so that's how you can start to move the audio tracks out of the video clips, and then you adjust the video clips to either make a J cut or an L cut, whether you want to have the audio extend into the next clip or you want to hear the audio before you see the pictures. The key is to not move the audio tracks around. It's just a very simple polishing step that's done after you've built your project. So that's it. I'm Rob Montgomery. Welcome to the Smart Film School.
Ik heb zo net de laatste test gedaan voor het journaal van zaterdag. Dan maak ik mijn debuut en ja, nog wat intro's oefenen en overgangen en stukjes inlezen en zo. Ja, laatste aan de hand leggingen en zo. Ja. Op dit moment neemt Steve Darcy het in de eerste ronde op tegen de Turk Marcel İlhan. Het is allemaal goed verlopen. Ik zie het volledig zitten. Nerveus zou ik mezelf niet noemen, maar er is wel een spanning. Het is echt zo een soort van kinderachtige Sinterklaas-spanning, zo de avond ervoor. Zo. Dus, ja, mijn achternaam is niet eenvoudig. Hè. Het is een Zeimana. Het ziet er veel moeilijker uit dan het is, maar eigenlijk is het zoals Janssens, maar dan met een Afrikaanse tongval meer niet eigenlijk. Een Zeimana, zo is het.
Oké, heel succes.
Oké.